So yeah, basically I hit record and we just talk for about an hour, and whatever comes out comes out.
Talk it up.
And anything dumb that you're like, hey, can we get that out of there? I just edit it out.
I live my life. No edit button.
No edit button.
Mistakes are made.
I fucking love that. All right. Before we start the show, you know what I'm going to say? It is the t-shirt selling competition, okay? Pat, you know a lot about selling t-shirts.
I have sold a few T-shirts. Most recently, I got quite carried away with the T-shirt making process. Now I need to get carried away with the T-shirt selling
process.
Yes.
Well, we're trying to sell some shirts. Here it is. Let's see what Pat's honest reaction is to this. Are you ready?
I love it. I love it. I had a T-shirt growing up that was a little similar, except it was like a lion.
Oh.
And he had like a long beard and sunglasses and stuff like that. And that guy, every time I see that logo, that's what I think. And that was the coolest shirt I owned. So
wow,
it's got to be pretty high up there.
So there you go. The coolest shirt that underage Pat ever owned. It looks like this shirt. So you got to buy it. And if you buy it, you get a line to call in for the All Requests AGD Radio in August. So that's awesome. And don't forget, it is your ticket to watch me compete against 3 fourth graders in a spelling bee. Okay? This is a no-brainer here. One shirt, I think they're $20. One shirt gets you a call-in for AGD Radio in August and gets you a ticket to watch me in a spelling bee against 4th graders.
Where can I sign up?
That's a great question,
right.
Pat. What a segue.
Well,
Look at you go.
Just legitimate question asking.
Yeah. TFTBstore.com. That's it. TFTBstore.com. The graphics on screen. Make sure you go buy a shirt. Let's win this competition. I'm going to spell against some 4th graders, and it's going to be fucking great. All right. So that was the commercial.
Yeah, there we go.
Buy a shirt, TFTBstore.com. Entrance, your call-in line for AGD Radio in August, and then your ticket to the spelling bee. Underage Pat's in the studio.
Hi.
You've already heard from him.
Hi, that's me.
So?
I was underage at a time. I'm currently of age. But, you know,
we'll tell that
such is
story
life.
in a second. Pat, hit the music.
Which music?
Yeah. Broadcasting today from the Union Fitness Studios. Union Fitness is more than a traditional gym. It's a place where you can transform yourself inside and out based around a variety of classes like yoga, fitness, strength, performance training. At Union Fitness, they believe it is their duty to hold themselves and their clients to a higher standard. They practice what they preach and uphold the values that make Union Fitness the community that it is. Go to unionfitness.com today and sign up for a consultation. Through Union, there is
strength.
Yes! Ah! Yeah! Good job.
Yes.
Did you just know the quote?
Yeah.
From Aristotle?
Mm-hmm.
No shit.
No, it was written here on the
you saw the piece of paper.
Yeah.
Damn
I
it.
didn't know. I mean,
that was
know it was
good.
A prompt.
That was good. That was good.
I was reading along and I was like, popcorn Pat. Strength. Yeah. I just didn't hear you say popcorn. So I lagged. Do you have any experience in spelling bees? Past participation?
Pat, famously, we've told this story a couple of different avenues. I lost in my 6th grade spelling bee to the foreign exchange student.
Oh. Yeah, I have one participation and I've got like 7th place. I messed up some silly word but the person who won was just like some regular nerd, you know. I mean,
humble brag from you.
Yeah,
really.
regular.
I lost to a foreign exchange student
yeah, right.
who could barely speak English.
Right. Regular
You
nerd.
just a regular nerd.
Regular nerd. And
Same thing.
yes. And it haunts me. it does. It haunts me.
Mine also haunts me
Right?
for completely different reasons.
Because it's like when you're growing up, you see the spelling bee on ESPN or whatever channel they're showing it on, and you think like, this is the only thing that looks, these people look like me. You're a kid. You're like, oh, kids on ESPN. This is amazing. So like I felt like I'm gonna
do
win
it.
this thing. I'm gonna win this thing.
It's gonna be on the This Is ESPN commercial. Me and Charles Barkley hanging out in the cafeteria.
Right.
I'm gonna ask him to spell Mad Bound Rebounder.
Right.
Yeah.
And so I remember, and I can't believe I remember this, but it was like the word was cantaloupe.
Oh no.
Yeah, and I still don't know right off the top of my head how to spell cantaloupe. But
All right, here's what we're gonna do.
Mm-hmm.
We're both gonna take our best shots at it right now.
I mean, I have a good idea.
I'm gonna go first.
Yes.
Okay. Cantaloupe.
Yes.
CANTAL lope. LOPE. Now I'm sure that is not correct.
I want to say it's CANTALOUPE.
Wow. Do you know what?
What?
You fucking did it.
Fine.
If
I was
only.
in my car
If only.
hoping that we would talk about this so that I could get some form of redemption.
So you could just dunk on that nerd kid. That
Yeah.
nerd kid's not on a podcast now, I bet.
Yeah, no, he works for Apple or something like that.
Yeah, but he just works at Apple Retail,
Yeah, right.
just like I
Right.
did. Yeah.
Yeah. It's either that or like works with Tim Cook or something like that. But
I wouldn't want to work with Tim Cook.
Tim who?
Yeah, exactly.
Right? Yeah, nobody wants to be the guy who works for the guy who follows Steve Jobs.
True.
Like,
True. Especially when it should have been Johnny Ive. But
right.
uh,
Yeah. A lot of elementary stuff going on already here.
my glasses have fogged up already. Underage.
That's a
Pat.
great quote though. Aristotle,
yeah.
Pretty smart guy.
Through union there is strength.
Pretty smart guy.
The smartest guy? Maybe? Like top
Probably.
10 for sure.
Yeah. I mean, he's definitely up there. Him and Riff Raff. And yeah.
Caleb Presley, Riff Raff, Aristotle.
Hawking, obviously.
Yes, okay. Well,
Yeah.
now I have to know top 10
Yeah.
smartest guys. Let's see what the internet has to say. Top 10 smartest
Dog.
guys in the world. I don't know that I want in the world. I just want smartest guys. What's this list? Okay.
Oh yeah.
I don't even know this first dude.
That's a spelling bee word right there.
Aryabhata,
Aryabhata.
Thomas Edison. Okay.
Yeah.
Leonardo da Vinci, sure.
Mm-hmm.
Stephen Hawking's, Terrence Tao, like the learnings of Tao, right?
He had a first name?
I didn't know he had a first name either, but like I'm just assuming that's who that is.
That can't be right.
That can't be. This could not be right. Oh well, now they see this sucks because we were at 10, moving up. Okay, so
Yes.
Da Vinci, get out of here. Ad blocker, Edison, Galileo.
Yeah. Yep. What a dope name.
What Galileo Galilei?
Yeah.
Oh, because he was of Galilee.
Yeah.
That's right. I remember now. And then who? Like, all right. So here's this. How'd you say that?
Guy invented sex.
No. Where'd you see that?
I mean, he just looks like it.
Oh, he did.
Oh, he found the
Oh, he found pi.
pie. Okay.
Okay. And then one they have as Isaac Newton.
Yeah.
Sir Isaac Newton. Did we miss? I feel like we missed somebody. Hawking.
Terrence Tao. Let's see what he's up to.
2 years teaching
Yes.
5 students. Mathematical Olympiads. So this is not the Book of Tao.
No. Like the
Like the.
That's like a religion, isn't it? Like Taoism.
I think you're right. I think you're
Would
right.
it be cool though if Taoism was like this guy Terry Tao, just out on the street telling people the ways of life?
What is the Book of Tao? Now I'm confused. The Book of Tao. Nope.
No.
This came back with Bionicles, which is cool. Okay, the Book of Tao. Yeah, it's like the Tao of Pooh or
Yeah.
whatever.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. All right. But so apparently there's 2 Taos.
Okay.
And then we got Christopher Lang, who.
Smartest man in America.
Oh, okay. Well, congratulations. It's like
Yeah.
being the dumbest kid in preschool.
Good job.
Kim Ong-yong, Guinness Book of World Records, has more brain power than Hawking and Einstein.
Is that like? How's that measured?
I don't like you.
Horsepower?
Yeah, so like it's actually I've seen it done. So you close your eyes and you go like, and then they just attach things to your brain, and that's how they know how much brain power. Yeah.
Get out of the way.
Yeah, they said mine sounded like a fart. It was like, whew. And then Judith Polgar.
Okay.
She's 40 years old, Hungarian
Chess
chess master.
Yeah. Okay. A lot of chess.
Oh, when she was 15, she defeated Bobby Fischer.
Did you ever play chess growing up? Were you a chess person?
No, not a chess person by any means. I had my defensive partner who I played hockey with loved chess. I think he was in the chess club at school, and he would try to get me to play him every weekend, and I would just match every move he made on the board.
There you go.
Because then it was a stalemate every time.
Like those like those videos on Instagram or Twitter where it's like we're living in a simulation and it's 2 people doing the same exact thing unplanned. Is that like
Yeah,
that was
yeah,
your
like
defensive?
when golfers sync up.
Yeah,
Yeah,
right.
that video.
That's the video I was thinking of.
Yeah.
Those guys with the like putter twirl and the look back and
The whole 9 yards.
that was it.
Yeah, but that was it. I just mirrored him perfectly. And Warren is now like a lawyer that works inside of like green card law, which is like some of the
yeah.
hardest law to practice because there's so many rules and like small things and refugees in the whole 9 yards.
Right.
So like his entire thing is like companies pay his company to get people green cards to come work in America.
That's I mean, that's amazing. That's like
Right.
that's good. Like that's very good, godly work you're doing there. You know, trying to get people. Well, it can be.
It
I'm
could
sure-
be.
I'm
It
sure-
also could be like
Probably-
Amazon's like we
probably
need
pretty
more smarter
lucrative.
people.
Yeah, right,
Yeah,
right.
yeah.
I'm thinking of the echelon where it's like, let's get all these people their green cards.
Yeah, I don't think he's like we have 1,000 Colombian refugees that we need to get
Right.
out of the country and find jobs for. I don't
Right.
think that's it.
Right.
No.
Got it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That makes sense.
but
Who would do that for pleasure when you could just do it
for money?
Yeah.
Yeah, who would tie dye thousands of t-shirts for pleasure?
An insane person.
An insane person.
Yeah.
So Pat and I met on a camping trip.
Yep.
And I have to tell the underage Pat story because
Sure.
I think it is maybe some of the most comical
Yeah.
I've ever been a part of, and it
Mhm.
involves West Virginia.
Nothing better than that.
No. So the one day, Pat and then our friend Science.
Antonio.
That's like he already has a cool name. He
Right.
did not need a
Right.
nickname, but I gave him one
Right.
anyhow.
Right.
Yeah.
He's I mean, he single-handedly saved us night one with his guile of canopy making
Yes.
so we could keep our fire, because the number one thing you don't want to happen in the wilderness is your fire to go out. You know, that if Naked and Afraid has taught me anything, it's that.
Uh-huh.
And he, he saw that. Obviously, he's a fan of the show, and he took it upon himself to keep us well lit with fire for warmth, even though we were on like a commercial camping ground.
Yeah,
So-
it would have been totally fine.
Right.
Totally fine.
Yeah, we all had cars
Right.
and
Right.
sleeping bags, and
Tense
Yeah, but that's not how I thought of it at the
in
time.
the moment.
Right.
I appreciate
I was
that.
I was smoking a lot of weed. It was my birthday, so
Yeah, it was your birthday. It was.
yeah.
Do me a favor.
Yeah.
Pull that cord a little bit closer to you. There you go. Cool. You're good. It was banging against your mic.
Oh.
You're good. You're fine. Don't worry about it. You're doing great, sweetie.
Thanks, Mom.
So, Science, Pat, and I are sent out on an expedition in the Bronco.
Oh my God, the Bronco. Still, every time I see one, I think of it,
Do you?
and I know what it's like to be on the inside of a Bronco.
That is true.
And they're great.
You've ridden in a Bronco.
Right.
The Bronco.
Bronco.
So, we're on this expedition to get wood, a couple odds and end pieces of things, and then beer. The two main things
Right.
were beer and wood.
Right.
And we achieved the wood going to a Home Depot, like maybe 20 minutes from camp.
Yeah, that was another blessing in disguise. It's like how I made like 3 trips to that place.
Yeah.
So having that right near a campground is very essential.
Right.
Yes. 15, 20 minutes
Yeah.
maybe.
So we put the wood on top of the Bronco, which was its own moment of hilarity, trying to figure out the mesh netting for the first time to keep all the wood down.
How recent had you got the Bronco at that point?
I think we had the Bronco for like well over a month at that point, but
Okay.
it had not been on an expedition.
Right. This is a maiden voyage.
It was its maiden voyage, and we definitely never used the mesh for the roof rack.
Right.
And you
I
know,
actually have you in my phone as Josh Roofrack.
do you
Yeah. Josh Roofrack.
underage Pat
Yeah.
and Josh roof rack?
Yep. Josh Roofrack.
That's awesome. So we solved that thanks to the help of science.
Yes.
Not the subject, but the human.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right. Right.
Yeah. And so we head over to the Walmart next to the Home Depot to buy beer, and we kind of like collect like a nice little shopping cart full of different assortments, some White Claws, some wine, all sorts of shit. And we get up to the cash register to check out, and it's 3 clearly grown men. Like,
If I wasn't wearing a hat, you would see my hair is mostly all gray.
right. And you had a thick
I had a nice
mustache at that
mustache
point.
going. Yeah.
Could have cleaned a floor with it.
The old floor sweeper.
The old floor sleeper. And so like very, very clearly like grown men buying all this stuff. And as we attempt to pay, the guy goes, "Can I see your IDs?" So Antonio, aka Science, and I pull out our IDs, and we look at Pat, and it turns out Pat doesn't even have his wallet on him.
I don't have my wallet. I don't have any form of currency or my license, obviously. And I don't remember why I didn't have it, but I didn't have it.
I can't remember. There was a reason you didn't have it, because we were like, "Oh yeah, it's blah blah blah."
Yeah, right. It was either in my car for the
Mhm.
because I didn't need it camping, so I
Right.
kept it there for safety. But yeah, either way, I was left penniless and nameless, in the middle of West Virginia.
Just, if you've seen Deliverance,
Right,
it's not
right,
necessarily the way
right.
you want to go.
Right.
So the guy goes, "You're thinking on your feet, like, oh, I don't have it. It's in the car."
Right.
And the guy goes, "Well, can you go get it?"
Yeah, and I'm thinking like, I don't drink. So
Yeah.
I'm not a drinker anymore.
Right.
And I'm like, well, this isn't even for me, so I'm not either. I don't have money, so I'm not the one paying.
Right.
I don't drink, so I'm not consuming. And I'm like, I was also just there yesterday, and that same guy had checked me out with like $200 worth of stuff and made like 3 or 4 conversational, comments to me while he was.
You were at that the day before we were there.
Yes.
Yes.
Right. I was
Yeah,
there
yeah,
the day
yeah,
before
yeah,
we
yeah,
were
yeah.
there, so I'm like, this guy knows me.
Right.
I mean, I look like Big Bird.
How many
You-
big birds walking around in
Right,
tie-dye
right,
do you think they see in
right,
West
big,
Virginia?
tall, gangly thing.
Yeah.
And I figured, oh, well, I'll go to the car
Yeah.
and get my wallet,
Right.
because he's like, yeah, well, do you have it? I'm like, there's 2 of these guys right here with IDs. Why do I need mine? I'm not. What if I was just a stranger they met in the store?
Right.
And I get the law. I mean, I
Sure.
get the law, but it's Walmart.
It's
This
seriously,
it's a
buddy.
lawless place.
So, Pat heads to the car, and Antonio and I are both aware at this point that he does not have his wallet. So without a blink, without any communication between the three of us, Pat takes a lap around Walmart,
Yeah. Right.
and Antonio and I are just gonna wait this guy out.
Right. It was the ultimate game of chess.
It,
It was
he thought he was Bobby Fischer.
right.
We were the Hungarian 15-year-old grandmaster.
Exactly.
Yes.
And yeah, it definitely worked. The pressure of the mounting lines, 'cause, it was like Mother's Day weekend or something. So there's lots
Yeah,
of
it was something
there's
like
lots
that.
of people there. So like he's holding up the line just because these two very clearly of age individuals want to buy beer, and he won't let them because another of age, very clearly do not have my ID.
And so yeah, we outweighted him.
Yeah.
We got
so
out.
I waited and waited and waited, and I was just gonna come back, and I came to walk in through the Walmart, and there's also COVID protocols, so I had to like walk out a specific exit, which was on the corner opposite end of the store. And finally I waited, and I came back in. As I was coming in, you guys had secured the package. Yeah, and I was just like, man, that guy. Jerk.
So that is how he got the nickname Underage Pat.
Right. That's true.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's it.
Yeah. And we were best friends ever since.
Pretty much.
Yep.
So Pat, why did you start? Well, first off, I'm wearing this awesome Pat original with this awesome sparkly Coors Light logo. When I got the shirt the other day, I didn't realize it was sparkly, and then when I got home, I was like, yes, it sparkles.
Yeah. Every time I see Coors T-shirts, advertisements, logos, I think of the old like Blues Traveler commercials. It's like the mountains win again. That's not. There's a Blues Traveler one where they're singing.
Blues Travelers.
Yeah. Nah, who knows? Maybe yeah. Do you ever think of all the things that you know and the stories you tell, and you're like, I wonder if they're accurate? I wonder if my mind made that up.
I'm the fact checker in my friend group 90% of the time, because I'm like, for whatever, well, I know why, but like I always have the camera and I keep everything.
Keep them receipts.
I keep receipts. And so I'm the fact checker. There was this great story where my friends were having a chicken fight in our first apartment in Wilkinsburg.
Mm-hmm.
And they collided, and one of them went through the wall. Now, the two sets of chicken fighters were my two best friends, Sean and Corey.
This is chicken fighting, not like a cockfight.
No, this is like, like in a pool.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
But
yeah,
like
on top of the shoulder.
But not in a pool and in my house. Yeah.
Nice.
So the Sean and Corey are one pair, and then the other pair is my friend Jeff and his girlfriend at the time. And there was a debate as to who had went through the wall for years, because the hole just stayed there. I'm like, I'm not fixing it. We lived in that house for like 3 years.
Right.
Our landlords never came by. So like when we went to move out, I'm like, hey, like you got to come fix this fucking wall. And they're like, well, it wasn't us. We didn't go through it. Sean and Corey are saying that. And I'm like, no, I'm pretty sure it was you guys. You guys lost. Right? Because that's it wasn't.
Sean Hunter and Corey Matthews.
You pretty much more than you know. But they were like, no, it wasn't me. It wasn't me. We didn't go through the wall. We won. And it wasn't who broke the wall or who had to fix the wall. It was the pride of who won.
Right.
Right? Because it was either two grown men or a guy and his girlfriend, who was very petite, had beaten them. And I'm digging through my hard drives, like, keep in mind, like, I should be packing to move out of this fucking house. I'm like, no, I have the video.
We need to know.
We need to know
Give
this.
the people what they want.
Sure enough, found the fucking video. And we
Okay.
know whose ass went through that wall, Sean Sweeney.
Yep.
We know.
Yep. I knew it.
Yeah.
I knew it was Sean. That's a lie.
Sean and
That's a
Corey
liar's
definitely broke
name.
it. Topanga and Eric would never break anything.
Where was Feeney?
Oh,
And he-
Feeney would have kicked the wall while
Right.
nobody was looking.
and then taught a really valuable life lesson.
Is there what generates instant tears just thinking about it more? When Andy leaves his toys at the end of Toy Story 3,
Ooh.
or Feeney saying "I love you all" to the empty classroom on the last episode of Boy Meets World?
I mean, for me, it's Feeney. I mean, Boy Meets World was a significant part of my childhood.
Mm-hmm.
And Toy Story, I think I was at the age when Toy Story all came out, I was at the age of like, no, I'm not a baby anymore. I don't watch animated movies. I want to watch rated R movies. And I think I was very anti-animated movies at the time. Couldn't be further from the truth. Now, as an adult, it's
Sure.
like, no, give me that sweet, sweet Moana all day.
Yes.
Give me Coco. Make me cry, you know?
Coco.
But no, at the time when I was a child, it was like, I need real life melodrama, or I need blood, guts, gore, sex, and porn. You know, don't
So the
give-
melodrama, sex, and porn came with your addiction to Sex in the City.
Yes,
Yes, and Nip Tuck.
Oh, Nip Tuck, yeah,
Nip Tuck
Yep.
was a
Nip Tuck,
special show to me.
yeah.
Yeah.
My mom was a big Nip Tuck fan, so it was on every week. We tuned in, and it's kind of a weird show to
No.
watch with your mom.
Absolutely.
Kind of, yeah. But it was like we, I'd be like, "What do you think? Do you think he is gonna kill him?" And she'd be like, "Asleep on the couch." So it was like her favorite show that she never ever watched. But I watched it. Maybe that's why it worked out. Maybe that's why we were able to get through
It was less awkward that way.
Yeah,
She was asleep. You watched the sex scenes.
right. I
Right.
was doing this the whole time.
Yeah, like, what does she know? This is
Turn it down.
that was me
Right.
watching wrestling, because the couch was set up like, that's the TV, this is the couch, that's the door to my parents' bedroom.
Okay.
So like my eyes were like split.
right.
Knowing like the second they came
Mm-hmm.
like, I started to hear like a creak come from their room. The TV had to go off, and I had to act like I was sleepwalking
Mm-hmm.
so that they didn't know I was watching Raw. That's the bottom line. What? I mean, where am I?
Mom,
Mom,
I
help.
had a bad dream.
There's a man with a beer truck chasing me.
So much
Just-
of childhood, like the early adrenaline rush you get as a child, is doing things like that.
Oh,
You
yeah.
know, being like, my dad falls asleep. He'll be up at 4 a.m. and asleep by 6 p.m. Like making us watch the news and snoring through it at 6 p.m.
Mhm.
But then he'll get like a second wind. It'll be like, oh, let's watch the Penguin game. It's like, okay. And then, yeah, second period snores resound. And it's like, remember, bed at 10 tonight or whatever. And just watching my dad and then watching the TV and be like, if he wakes up, he's going to beat my ass. But it's a risk I'm willing to take. All right.
Yager's got two
Yeah,
goals
right,
late in the
right.
third. The
Right.
Islanders have their goal pulled. He
Right.
could score a hat trick.
Especially like the West Coast games that don't
Oh,
start. It
yeah.
was like, oh my God. I know, Dad. It's bedtime. Yeah. Shut up. Go back to sleep. Oh my God. Yes. I never get to see these teams. It's fantastic.
The Los Angeles Kings. Oh my God.
Remember how bad the Kings were?
They were so bad. Most of the Western Conference teams, like, especially when I got right into college in 2008, like when we just started getting good,
Right.
right? I remember never being able to stay up to watch those games, like in high school, because I had to get up to like go to school.
Right.
And then like in college, it's like, no one's telling me to go to bed.
Right.
And like
Right.
watching way too late into
Right.
the year, but yeah.
Yeah. I mean, that's being an adult, is having to make those decisions, those tough calls. What time do I go to bed? Being a mature adult, which I have not gotten there yet, but like being a mature adult is like, is this going to be worth it? And should I watch this next 3 episodes of ridiculousness. What's the return? What's the
That is not a good return. on
what's the return
investment.
going to be on this versus me getting a sound night's sleep and waking up for work tomorrow?
Yeah.
Yeah. So I mean, but you learn. I think you probably scientific. We should ask science.
We should
But
have science.
Neurologically, I would assume you learn a lot of your basic instincts of your surroundings, of reaction time, by playing that cat and mouse game with your
Mhm.
parents. You know, that's like
Oh.
right. It's a little different from like kids in ancient Sparta, but it's
yeah, their reaction
it's-
time was, is this lion going to catch me or my friend?
Right, but it's on the same level, I would have to say.
Yeah, I mean, you have a brother, right?
Yeah.
So it's similar because it's like,
Mhm.
instead of a lion, it's like, is the parent going to catch me or my brother?
Right.
Right.
Right. And for me, I'm not going to toot my own horn, but I'm going to toot my own horn. I was the third of 4 kids. I have 2 older sisters. Between myself and my next sibling, there's like a 6-year age gap. So by the time, by the time my sisters had gone through high school and, were into college or whatever, they had broken my mom, not they were disrespectful, but like they made her, she had to make all those tough calls in that era, about, where to draw lines, where to set rules, whatever. So by the time I got to high school, I had heard over and over again the spiel, like, you know what, just, it doesn't matter where you are. If you're in trouble, call us. And my parents are divorced, by the way. But from both of them, it was like, I don't care if it's 4 a.m. If you need me, call me, no matter where you are, no matter how far. The Marvin
Yeah.
Gaye, ain't no mountain high enough, sort of. And so I really abused them with that, because I would like call them at 3 a.m, not because I was in trouble, just because I was drunk, and I was like, "Hey, Mom, yeah, is it cool if I sleep over at Timmy's?" She's like, "God damn it, Patrick, it's 4 a.m. What are you doing?" And I'm like, "Why are you whispering, Mom?" She's like, "'Cause it's 4 a.m, honey." And like, so many of those calls immediately, they were like, just lie to us, please. Just lie to us. So, yeah, when it came to taking blame for things with me, my brother, it was like, I'll jump on this grenade. I'm not afraid of them. I'm not
afraid of
There's
them.
nothing. I know that I have, bucked them into my world of, just, okay, I assume it was Patrick. I assume it was him. He said it was him, that sort of thing.
He said it was him.
He admitted
I
to
assumed
it.
it was him.
He
He said it was him.
Yeah, like
Probably.
if I could lie, if I could just tell the truth, even if it was a lie, like if I could tell what they wanted to hear, and just lie, or if I could tell them what they didn't want to hear, that would end the conversation even quicker.
Wow.
Because neither one of my parents were like prepared to. They just wanted to be left alone. Because my sisters were good kids. I mean, they went through an awkward time of my parents divorcing and stuff like that. So like neither parent had room to like, go too far into
Yeah.
them on anything. So it was like they got away with a lot. They had parties, whatever. By the time I got there, I had watched all of these parties happen. I knew that like there's nothing you can tell me because I've witnessed how you handled it 6 years ago. And so
Well, and just by the time they thought the terror was over, you and your brother were right on the heels.
Right. And my brother was never my brother's a good, solid, sound guy. It was always me. Like I was unabashed in like, yeah. I mean, when I never got arrested.
Good.
Yeah.
Good.
So
My brother can't say the same. So.
I never got arrested, but I did get driven home by the cops a couple times.
Oh.
It was like, no, thank you, officer. Yeah, whatever, and get in the house. And everybody always anticipates like I'm so screwed. I'm so screwed. It was more like, we'll talk about it in the morning. And then the morning came and it was like nothing. It blew over. So I got no sleep. That was the punishment, the pressure of me worrying. Am I
Right.
finally gonna? Like I was never ever grounded. I was never in trouble. All my friends would get in trouble for minor things and be grounded. I would do very stupid stuff like start fires in the woods or, like make works bombs with the liquid plumber stuff.
That's a little bit worse than fire in the woods, but yeah.
Right. Like, and I just never got in trouble because I was always great at maneuvering my way, dancing around a situation.
So when the cops are like, all right, where do you live, kid?
Right.
Which parents' house did you make them drive you to? Or did it depend on what you did?
Well, it was mom's. I lived with my mom. My dad, like we had split custody every other weekend or whatever. It was mom's. My dad lived out of the area for a while, and the woman he lived with never really liked me or my brother. Never wanted. I don't think I don't know. I don't ever think she was never really like a kind to me.
I see.
So it was never like I wasn't worried about him. I was worried about my
Her.
not mom yelling at
Oh,
me.
yeah.
So, and my mom, like I said, she is a saint. She's a wonderful person. The only thing she ever says was in regret, like years down the road, was like, I never asked enough of you guys.
Oh my God.
Yeah, right. It's like I was too easy on you. And she's right. I mean,
That's a kick in the nuts.
Yeah, like, and literally, like, so when my parents split up, I was like 6, and so my sisters are like 12 and 13. So like, there's a lot different situation going on when your parents are splitting up 6 versus 12, 13, just by your chemistry and what's going on in your own situation. So my sisters, went from like being 12-year-old teens at the mall to like you have to watch your brother while I go to work, like single parent household things, like where they were kind of thrown into being parents, and so they had a lot of things that they had to do. By the time I got to my teenage years or my pre-college years, it was like I'm not gonna do that. No, that was what my sister did. That's not my job. That's her job. She's at college, so now you have to do it again. I was a shitty kid.
Oh man.
I was a shitty kid.
Oh, I'm sorry. It didn't mean to
No,
be like
no.
shit on Pat Hour.
No. I do that.
Fucking underage Pat. What a piece of shit.
Underage Pat was a piece of shit.
Underage Pat was the real
Right,
underage Pat was
the
a
real
piece
underage
of shit.
Pat was a piece of shit.
That's awesome.
But yeah, just parents, watch your kids.
Yeah.
That's my lesson.
I think there's some of them listening. I don't know who's in the audience. It's the best part. I saw Instagram story get reposted by one of my friends who was on, and this person was like recording their TV, watching the show, and like I'm on it, and they don't know who I am. And they're watching the show, like I'm on their TV in their living room, and they don't know me from a bag of bricks. And I'm just like, this is very awkward. I don't know how to handle this. I don't know you. You don't know me, and I'm on your TV. This is very weird.
Whoopsies.
Yeah.
How did that happen? How's that?
Well, they were on.
They were just
their friend. They knew the guest.
Yeah. Oh.
Like there will be plenty, hopefully, of your friends that listen and watch who don't know me,
Right.
and they'll be like, "Oh yeah, that Josh guy, fucking asshole. He made you talk about how shitty of a kid you were."
I thought it was a podcast, not a therapy.
I thought he was a podcast. He was peddling shirts and then made me fucking
Maybe-
talk about being a fucking child.
Yeah, ripped open some scabs.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's my game plan.
Yeah. No, that's fine.
Welcome to a Great Depression. That's why we do.
I believe 100% in emotional honesty.
Mm.
100%. Just, I could talk about any terrible thing that happened to me at any point in my life.
Cool.
In any moment, within a moment's notice. I can take it down too. Like we could be like just happened.
Yeah.
We could be
yeah.
just talking about like, oh,
Yeah.
kids, what? So I'm like, yeah, my parents got divorced, and parents never loved me. And
Yeah,
no,
yeah.
I get caught up doing that too.
Yeah.
'Cause
Your dad was at least in your life.
yeah, yeah.
What's
I
that
mean,
like?
no, I mean it's fine.
What was that cool? Having a
Yeah.
dad?
It was cool. Now we're on the subject of privilege.
I'm
Yeah,
just telling you, if you want to play the game, we can all
Yeah.
play the game.
no, my
That's the best part of this podcast. is
Right.
Everybody that's listening right now
right.
knew what you were getting set up for,
Right.
and we're all laughing with you.
Right.
It's not a laughing at you thing.
No, I mean, I don't want to waste the time.
Let's
my,
waste
my,
time.
My dad was a shithead.
Oh.
Not like was a shithead. He's still alive, but
Right.
he was not a shithead like he's a bad person on the scale of life. He had a
Sure.
bad period of his life where he made some bad decisions.
Okay.
He made bad financial business decisions, extramarital decisions, blah blah blah.
Sure.
And he has since meaning like I was 6 then, and that was like 27 years ago. The last decade or so, the last maybe 15 years, has been a very important part of my life. Very,
Awesome.
very good part of my life.
That's cool.
He has atoned for a lot of the things, he's good now.
I tried to call my dad on Father's Day, but they don't have reception 6 feet under the ground, so
See, that's something.
just didn't go through.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. Jesus Christ. Man, I really need to do
That was
I really need to do my research next time
No,
anyone asks
this
me
is
to
the best.
talk about anything
This is
ever.
the best. Irons. So my brother and I all the time send each other dad jokes back and forth. As far as like, so my dad died when I was 18.
Okay.
My brother was 13.
Okay.
And he died of a cocktail of like alcohol abuse, smoking too many cigarettes while
Right.
having his leg amputated and being addicted to opioids.
Right.
Just a beautiful cocktail.
Right.
Basically he was a pirate. Without the leg though, he just let the stump hang out, which
Yeah.
kind of sucks. Like,
Yeah.
at least have a cool peg leg.
Right.
But every year,
Do you ever?
what?
I'm not.
No,
Do
yes.
you ever think why isn't that a fashionable choice yet?
A peg leg?
Yeah, right. So we have this wonderful cutting edge technology with amputees, and their prosthetics. Why hasn't like a designer, Kanye, I'm looking at you, come out with like, the old school wooden peg leg that we see in cartoons?
I just don't think we've gotten into the deepest part of Lawrenceville yet to find them.
It's true.
They're
That's-
there.
Yeah.
You're just not at Spirit at the right night on the right time
Right.
or whatever.
They're not. Yeah. They're the prices aren't high enough
Right.
for their market.
Right.
It'd Just be a loss.
Actually, like I'm imagining like this Ron Swanson type character who crafts his own peg leg.
Right.
And he's like, and I don't feel like maple today. Let's go
Right.
cherry.
Right.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah.
So anyway, we send each other dad jokes all the time, and it's like our thing to make other people uncomfortable, right? Until you bump into somebody like my old co-host Zach, whose dad like just left when he was like 7.
Right.
He's got a whole nother level of jokes that I can't compete with, and it's
Right.
not fair.
Right.
It's bullshit. Like you have like your divorce jokes.
Yeah,
Those
right.
are fun. A lot of people have those.
And I was thinking on my way here, and this is God's honest truth. I was thinking on my way here. You asked me to do this, and the other day I texted you like, do I need to research anything? Do I need anything I need to learn? Any subject matter we're gonna cover that we? And you were like, no, it's just mostly let's talk about 90s culture and sports, and and I'm a 90s child and stuff like that. And driving over here, I thought like, I don't even remember the 90s. And I think I remember, things, but I don't remember the 90s with any like super loving, nostalgic love, because I think it's somewhere deep that it's packed down in my
you
like.
put it in a box in the basement.
It's in the box in my basement with like, no, that was my childhood of like parental issues, mom and dad fighting, subconsciously. That's what I'm getting at. I'm like, yeah, I know more about 90s culture and history and sports and music as an adult,
Yeah.
being a custodian and a historian of sorts, than I do from like having like warm, gushy memories about
Of
like
Gushers.
Gushers I still eat, so like they never went away. Yeah, that's the best part about it being adult, that they don't tell you, is that you can eat whatever you want whenever you want to. Obviously there are circumstances and consequences, but yeah, you can just literally eat whatever you want, and I do. And I have a terrible shit diet, but yeah, Gushers, if I see them, I'm grabbing them.
Nice.
Yeah.
Nice. Is there anything you wanted to talk about today?
Yes.
Yeah, okay, lay it on me.
So I smoke a little bit of the devil's lettuce.
Who doesn't?
Right? I honk the bobo, as the kids say, as the memes say.
Boys, did you get that one? Did you get honk the bobo? Somebody write that down and put it in a group chat.
I can't take credit. It's somewhere I saw it. I can't remember where, but I've used it ever since.
I'm giving Underage Pat credit.
Nice. So the other day I was just staring at the vast void of feeling involved in, like, what am I going to do with all of these shirts? What am I going to do with all of this stuff that I don't have space for? And then, I put on some tunes, I honk the bobo, and I'm thinking, oh yeah, what are we going to talk about with John? And I basketball, I'm a big NBA fan. You're obviously a big fan. Nuck if you buck, if you will. Loved the call, because actually when I talked to you last, you said, I think they're going to drop game 2, come back, bring it back. Game 3, they're going to take game 3.
And then they did.
Prophecy. So I was reading articles and stuff about free agency and trades and whatnot, and it just got me into this weird place, and I wanted your thoughts on this. So it's about Ben Simmons. Right?
Okay.
All right. And so it's about Ben Simmons, sorry, I keep hitting this mic. Then in the broader sense, fandom, overzealous, crazy maniacal hooliganism, whatever. So Ben Simmons, great young basketball player, 6'10" point guard,
prodigy, the next LeBron.
Right, great basketball player. Can't shoot a basketball, somehow still makes $40 million a year because he's that special as an athlete in this transitional kind of game that we're in. Has a terrible playoffs, ridiculed, talked about in trade rumors, talked about in work ethic, blah, blah, all of this stuff. And if you go on the hateful internet spaces like Twitter or Facebook,
Philadelphia 76ers fan forum.
Right, exactly. Any of those places, you see these like terrible, hateful things, and it's like, I just had this realization. I wanted to get your opinion on it.
Okay.
When does the ridicule, the jawing, the trash talk, when does that cross the line from like, I hate this guy, he's my rival, glad he did poorly, I'm a Philly fan, so I'm mad at the world all the time, to like just the actual bullying. You know what I mean? Like character assassination and, like putting really terrible things. Because the one thing I really hate about today's society, and maybe it's because I'm a damn lib, I don't know. But like people always tell, the shut up and dribble movement,
right?
Keep your voice out of this, blah, blah, blah. These are human beings. These are Americans. They have a vote. They have a voice. They have feelings. They may have $40 million more than me in the bank account, but they're still human beings.
Yep.
Right.
Yep.
And they're treated like circus animals, except circus animals don't really know when we're laughing or whatever. These people do. So where do you lie? Like, when does something become that's just, how long after? What's the window of like, okay, I can rip, Barb, here you go, and then when does it become like, man, we should probably check in on Ben Simmons?
Yeah, Ben
like
Simmons, okay,
right, because
Yeah.
like I think about that all the time, with just friends,
Yeah.
with so many, because we all have friends. We grew up with people who were the butt of most of the jokes,
Right.
who were the whipping boy or what,
Sorry, Austin.
But like at some point you have to become an adult and be like, no, I'm gonna make fun of myself,
Yeah.
so that so and so can take the day off. But because I'm worried about him, little,
Okay.
So I was just thinking, it was a idea as I
A high idea.
yeah.
See, that's not a great idea. It's just a genuine good thought.
Right.
Like, my great high idea is grass native to Pennsylvania? Okay, so Naomi Osaka.
Yes.
'Kay, are you
Right,
familiar?
Right.
So for those of you who aren't sports people, Naomi Osaka beat Venus Williams.
Right.
And that's like the greatest tennis player ever, period. Male, female, whatever, right? She
Right.
beat her to win a championship, whichever one, I can't remember at this exact moment. She then sits out of the next major tournament, or is kicked out of the next major tournament, because she refuses to do media.
Right.
Because she's like, I'm not wired that way. Like, I don't like being in front of the camera. I don't want to talk to reporters. Like, I don't want them asking me all these questions when I'm trying to just focus on winning, right? And in team sports,
Right.
you can do that. Of Evgeny Malkin spent an entire year not talking to the media, right? You can hide some of your...
Because with Malkin, it was always like, I would always hear from people within the situations, like, he's actually he can actually speak English very well.
Yes.
Yeah, he's just playing this because he's uncomfortable talking to the media.
Right.
But
in individual sports like tennis,
Mhm.
golf, you can't hide those things.
Right.
And you have to talk to the media. And because tennis and golf are international sports,
Right.
they have to do even more media than American
Right.
sports team-based athletes.
Right.
And so now there's this great movement happening. It's like, why do they have to talk to the media?
Yeah. Right.
Do they?
Right. And she brought up a good point. Like, I don't want to be asked the same question over and over and over again when it's not a happy, pleasant question or
Yeah.
memory. You're asking me to talk about something that's difficult or talk about a loss, and I want to move on from it. It's
Right.
because none of the press conferences are like, hey, do you like hot dogs?
Well, unless you're Phil Kessel.
right. Or like, what are your thoughts on funnel cake?
Yeah.
No, it's all like, so, in the media, blah, 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 this happened, you said this, do you have any regrets talking about so-and-so behind their back, or blah, blah. It's always spun into something. It's never pleasant. It's never, what's your favorite color?
Right.
So I understand. And as a person, I mean, I've had, most every person, whether they admit it or not, has dealt with depression, anxiety, whether you're man enough to admit it,
Or woman
or
enough.
woman enough,
Or they enough.
right? Whether you're, I was specifically talking to the super
Yeah.
macho.
We're talking about
toxic-
Ben Simmons.
toxic,
Yes.
toxic male culture.
Sure. In sports in particular.
Right. Of like, yeah. And I just wanted to know, like, yeah, when's the expiration date for like bagging on somebody before we can be like, okay, it's a game, it's entertainment,
So I think it's tough, right? Because tribalism is something that has been a part of us as a race
Mhm.
since before we became even cultures, right? Before
Right.
we even were able to identify that I am man, you are woman, we are friend, or anything like that. We were like, that person lives in a different cave, I don't like them.
Right.
In sports is the last piece of that in civilized culture, right? Is like, I can hate that person because they cheer for the Browns, which is so fucking dumb.
Right. I mean, also happens in war.
it happens in war, but it's so much more impersonal in war now.
Right.
It's
It's
somehow,
not hand-to-hand combat
It's not
anymore.
hand-to-hand combat, whereas like Sons and Four Guy was in hand-to-hand combat.
Right.
It's very personal. They're in my house. They're in my stadium
Right.
where I come to worship my gods.
Yeah.
And they like their gods better, and they just said that my god sucks because he can't shoot a free throw.
Right. And yeah, it's just like every news outlet, every sports story was like, Ben Simmons sucks. They'll never make it work with him. Blah blah blah. And it's not specific to Ben Simmons. You know, that's a situation where he's maybe played his last day in Philadelphia because why wouldn't you want to play your last day in Philadelphia? You know.
Well, or Carmelo Anthony was another one.
Right.
And if AI wasn't so successful, he would have been another one.
Sure.
We chased Antonio Brown and Lev Bell out of this town that way. Right? And we're working on Juju.
Right. And yeah, I mean, it's
Yager.
Yeah, Yager never. I mean, remember when Yager was rumored to be coming back to the Penguins like a couple years ago?
I mean, the year was, hang on, I've got this locked and loaded.
14 or
2013. Because that's when Talbot left.
Right.
And both of them went to the Flyers.
Yeah.
And I was the hate Ben Simmons guy at that point. Like, fuck Max Talbot. Those goals didn't count. Jaromir Jagr will never get his number raised in the Raptors. They don't count in my legacy anymore.
Right. And then you have to really look back and be like, whew, we had arguably two of the top 5 players of all time.
Yes.
Playing together at the same time. And we one of them had his own. Mario obviously had his own issues, you know. Hodgkins, you know, bad back, bad everything, you know, beat up, years and years of this and that. Yager was like in his prime, and we were just like
torching us.
Right. Just like we were like, oh, he's sitting out with a Charlie horse. Can you believe it? What a freaking pussy. Let's get him out. We can't deliver. Blah, blah. Like, you're talking Pittsburgh messed that one up.
For sure. And like Cordell Stewart's another. I mean, like there's so many athletes we've chased out of here. And I want to get back to the when's it time to lay off and where I was going with the they are our gods thing.
Yeah.
We feel like because we pay the tickets, we pay for the cable package, we buy the jersey, that $40 million that Ben Simmons is being paid is part of my money.
Right.
Reality, it is not. However, because I have a Ben Simmons shirt and a poster and in the card and the NFT and all that shit, I think that I'm paying his salary, and when he does not perform at the level I expect him to, we have problems.
Right. But yeah, exactly.
So that's where like it's not like the guy who missed the kick for England this weekend.
Yeah.
I mean, English people are going to be going nuts. But for me, even if I was cheering for England, I'm like, oh, that sucks for that guy.
I wish, and I don't even, I mean, I know it happened and I didn't even read. I was in my, dwelling in my basement over shirts.
Yes.
But yeah, all I'm seeing is like racist attacks. From people who, you know, had he made this kick, I think it was Marcus Rashford or Jadon Sancho.
That was Saka was the one that missed.
Oh, it was Saka. Okay.
Yeah.
So
the next prodigy.
Yeah. So at these young black athletes, superstar athletes coming up through England's soccer pipeline, you know, they're spray painting his murals. They're burning jerseys. They're trying to, you know, these being ripped apart. And it's like, had any one of them scored the game-winning goal, they'd be knighted.
Yeah.
They would be knighted.
Yep.
Eventually, not, you know, they're still young.
Right.
But like that's the toxic sports culture, right?
Right.
I invest so much of my time. Can't you see how much I care about this? Can't you see how much it means to me that you messed up my dream of being able to tell my Italian friend that England is champion again, or, you know, or whatever.
So when is it time to lay off?
Yeah.
There was probably never a time to get on.
Yeah, no, and that's as I've gotten older, I work in a bar. And there all hours of the night. I watch late night basketball or hockey or baseball or football, whatever. I watch every single televised sporting event every day of the year. And the older I've gotten, I love sports. I no longer love teams. I no longer love like I love the Steelers. I'm happy when they succeed because it's good for the city. It's positive, you know, buzzing. People are buzzing around town. Can you believe that this or blah blah blah? But like I'm much more invested in young men, like the athletes, the people who are doing things off the field, what the stories that come from these places of privilege that a lot of people acknowledge. I've used my ability to kick a football 60 yards or I've to score 70 goals a year or whatever, and now I'm able to like put shoes on children's feet.
That's Bobby Portis Jr.'s quote after the end of Game 3 was, "I'm just a kid from Arkansas. We dream about this stuff."
Right.
Yep.
I'm much more involved in like can relate to that. I want to enjoy their successes as people, as men or women. Across every like when Naomi Osaka did that, I was like, good for you.
Yeah, fucking rights.
And the French Open was like, no, actually, we're not letting you in. She was like, I don't care.
Yeah,
suck my butt.
Yeah,
I don't know.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, it's just like, that's why I think the NBA has become such a big. It's become my favorite league. It's because I'm able to follow players,
right,
and storylines between players, and I get sucked in with hot goss every once in a while, and like riffs and stuff like that. But like mostly, we don't have a team in Pittsburgh. The league is at an all-time high in fan engagement, in entertainment value, in promotion, in it's everywhere. It's boom town. The NFL, every time you read something, it's like, oh, this guy strangled his girlfriend unconscious and actually thought she was dead, but then he kept going about his day. That lineman in Seattle or whatever. Or like, was it Randy Gregory who almost killed his... I don't know.
Well, Bauer beating
Yeah.
the wheels off that lady
Right.
twice.
Right.
Yeah.
And it's just like, that's cool. I mean, you can keep that. I'm gonna go somewhere else. It's kind of like I'm gonna take my business elsewhere, which everyone's entitled to do.
Yeah, the NBA's biggest bad boy is Kyle Kuzma for smoking pot at Texas A&M.
Yeah, right.
That's right now at least. Yeah.
Right. Yeah. And what's Alex Caruso, right? Going to the airport in Texas or something with pot.
Oh yeah,
yeah. These are just silly things that like silly young kids with money do.
Right.
But it's like, I've done them.
So I guess, so yeah, you probably shouldn't be like tweeting at Ben Simmons every day. So
right.
So let me take this time to apologize to Chris Middleton. I'm very sorry. I'm not mad. I'm just disappointed. Okay. I have high expectations for you and us to win this championship.
Right.
So please play more like you did in Game 3 and Games 5 and 6 against the Hawks, and less like you did in Game 1 and 2 against.
Yes, all of that was a build-up to get you to apologize. I'm
Chris
sponsored
Middleton.
by Big Middleton, corporate lobbyist for Big Middleton Enterprises.
Awesome. Well, you did that.
Yeah.
Major accomplishment on your part.
Yeah, that was just one of the things that popped into my head. I was like, you know what?
Good question.
I'd like to hear about that because I don't know. I'm from Pittsburgh, so I'm trained to think that all people in Philadelphia are garbage humans.
Most are.
And especially like seeing some of the things that they've had in their sports franchises over the past 10 years and seeing how they've talked all of them out of town. I'm like, yeah, leave the kid alone. Trade him. Set him free. Let him go somewhere where he can frolic.
Well, that's what a lot of us in sports media, I use that term lightly with me, believe that one, he's too young to trade him because there's a very good chance that his upside has not hit yet.
Yeah.
And two, what happens when he goes to Phoenix and he's
Right.
playing out of his fucking mind.
Right. I mean, he would obviously pair really, really well in certain places. He's he's like Leslie, or he's like Liam Neeson. A very particular set of skills.
He does have a very particular set of skills.
Which obviously, I'm not saying some of the criticism isn't unwarranted. From a professional level, you're in the sports media. That's what you do. You say, blah blah blah. Everyone I've talked to says this is what he does, and he refuses to learn how to shoot, and he is babied by his family, and all of this stuff that I read. I'm like, okay, well, just let the dude live. It's tough enough losing a big game.
Well, and he didn't.
And he's playing a team sport.
Right.
So my other thing with team sports, the team lost.
Yeah, but I mean, he passed when he was standing under.
Yeah,
the
right.
rim,
Well,
and
he
they
hit
only
a
needed 2
wide
points.
open. Who was it? Thibault
Yeah.
for the dunk, or
Yeah.
whoever it was. But yeah, but he can't shoot free throws. He knows that. Actually, he's smart. He's like, I can't hit free throws. I'm not gonna risk getting fouled. He could dunk it, obviously get the 2 points, but yeah, he doesn't shoot. He's a terrible free throw shooter. It's become kind of a joke about his 3-point shooting ability in an age where everyone needs to shoot threes. But I would trade him because you're never going to rebound from that in Philadelphia.
No.
Never within another 20 years would you ever live that down. It's a lot of money to tie up to somebody who can't shoot the ball. And what does Philly need? They need somebody who can shoot the ball. They have Seth Curry, but you're not gonna like win many championships with Seth Curry as your guy. I don't think. Tobias Harris kind of can disappear at times, but you have so much money invested that like there's a lot of young players in this year's draft that are potential all-star players. They've talked about the big 4 or 5 at the top of the draft. Ben Simmons could get you one of those. Send him somewhere where they can build an offense around him. I don't know. X's and O's part of it I'm not sure of, but the stop bullying athletes.
I love it.
America.
I love that. And what's even sadder is that if you think what's bad, whatever they're doing to Ben Simmons, it's 10 times worse what they're screaming at the T-ball kids.
Yeah.
As they're literally hitting it off a tee. So, all right, Pat.
Yeah.
That was fun.
That was a lot of fun.
Awesome.
Just stop bullying. That's my only thing. Stop bullying. Parent your children.
Make sure you have your ID in a West Virginia.
Yeah,
Walmart.
yeah. If you go to Walmart in West Virginia, make sure you have your ID.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Perfect.
Yeah.
Right.
Love talking to you.
Love talking to you, man. This was a blast.
Yeah.
Plug your Instagram so people buy your fucking cool shirts.
What is my Instagram? See, this is why I'm bad. It's at Chili. Let's see. At Chili Cunningham. At Chili Cunningham. I was watching like a Karen video. Karen's Gone Wild. I love watching Karens get their shit smacked up.
Karens also hate Ben Simmons.
Yeah, well,
Right.
yeah, right.
So at Chili Cunningham, I'll put a tag up on everything, and yeah, go buy his shirts. I love mine. The other one I bought, I gave to my friend Derek, who's the co-founder of Thoughts from the Bench.
Right on.
He loves it, the Nike one.
Right on.
And then Anastasia bought 2, and she loves both of them as well. So
Yeah, I appreciate you guys coming in. It was nice to see you.
heck yeah.
Yeah, I have so many of these stupid shirts. They're going to be probably Wednesdays at like Lot 17 where I work. That's
Awesome.
probably where I'll be selling, slinging, and hopefully getting out of this financial mess I've created.
All right, so go buy a shirt from Pat, and this has been a great depression.
Yeah.
Remember, we are now in your brains.
And there's unity, or union is strength.
Yeah.
Something like that too.
Since the first